Hi, everybody. It's episode 603 of PodQuest.
Hey.
It is Wednesday, March 4th, 2026. I am Chris. With me is Druten
Hello.
and Walnut.
I'm so tired.
That's your own fault for playing too much Resident Evil.
It's not even because of Resident Evil.
I don't believe you.
No, so there's another raccoon in the area. And because of that, because it hangs out in my backyard from time to time, after it gets dark, I can't let Chase out in the backyard because it stands its fucking ground and doesn't fucking run.
You need to install some floodlights.
They hide behind the tree. That's not going to do anything. So now at night I have to generally around 7 I'll put him out in the front yard, but then when it comes to bedtime, 10:30ish I'll walk him and then I'll have to walk him again. But because we're walking and I'm not putting him out, he still wants to go out and do his patrol of the backyard. And he's just very antsy now that we're when we're going to bed, and he's moving around a lot and he's waking me up. And I just can't stay asleep right now.
Burn your yard down.
Honestly,
can't have any raccoons in the yard if you just burn everything to the ground.
I might look into seeing if there's any sort of fencing I can get that they can't climb and just get it all around my property.
No, I mean, raccoons will find a way.
I mean, generally, there are things that they can't grip, but if there's any sort of vines or anything that go around it and stuff, they're going to be able to grab onto the vine. So vinyl is if it's wide enough to where they can't reach both sides, or if it's thick enough that they can't actually go to get a grip on it, that you might be able to prevent them from getting over it. I don't know. I don't really know. I know because I still have the trap door set up on my attic from the previous raccoon because it's been too much weather for them to come out and fix the hole. They're going to be putting it up, and it's just a board that's going to go all the way down part of the roof, and it's just going to be metal plated around it, a sheet metal plated around it, because they can't grab onto that metal. They can grab onto the wood because it's porous and they can get their nails in it. They can't grab on and grab around the metal. So that's what they'll be doing to prevent it from getting in, which I haven't heard anything in my attic in at least 2 weeks. But as now, if this thing is fucking hanging around in my yard at night, I've gotten another set of traps, another trap out, hoping that we catch it. But I don't really have faith that we're going to.
Are you putting food in the trap?
Yeah, I mean it's that I was still owed time from the previous time we had traps out from the critter control people. So because when it first initially happened, they came out Wednesday and set traps, and then that Sunday was the first snowstorm we got.
Back in January.
Yeah, the one that took close to a month to melt.
Yeah, fuck that one. And
then they had texted me a few days, about a month. They're we didn't forget about you. We just haven't been able to get out there to be able to do anything. And I'm no, I totally get it. It's fine. And then we had the second snowstorm, which took another 2 weeks to clear up. And then that's when I saw the raccoon. So I was look, I know I think I had technically I'd paid for 10 days of capture. And we had only had it out from Wednesday to Saturday. They break down the traps on Saturday because they're closed on Sunday. So it was Wednesday to Saturday. And then Sunday they're closed, but that's when we had the snow. So it's only about 4 or 5 days. So I still have 5 or 6 days left. It's just, yeah. Fucking raccoons, man. I'm so tired of this area. I'm so tired of these fucking things. I love them. They're adorable. But when they stand their ground, it kind of means to me that people are feeding them.
Or not necessarily just feeding them. It means that they have a reliable food source, which you have apartments with dumpsters right behind your house. So.
Yeah, that's a dumpsters right there, which, I mean, they wouldn't, unless the dumpsters are absolutely chock full, they can't climb out of the dumpster unless there's some way for them to, climb up something. And that's what I'm saying again, the metal is if they can't grip onto the metal to climb out of a dumpster. So, and those dumpsters aren't generally all chock full. So, I mean, who knows? They probably are just living within the apartment area and the creek behind it. But there may also be one just living under my house. Who knows? It's really hard to know.
Yeah, you'll figure it out or die trying.
Yeah, I'd rather not die trying, but yeah, figuring out for sure would be nice.
So what's on the agenda?
So on the agenda, I played a new-ish board game called Lore and Logic. And then I've been playing a lot of Resident Evil 9. Cobb, you started playing a game, or you've been playing a game called Pepper Grinder. And then there was a Pokemon. It was Pokemon Day last Friday. It was the 35th, 30th?
30th.
30th anniversary of Pokemon on Friday, and there was a direct, and there were some announcements that we can get into a bit.
Yeah. So how's Lore and Logic?
So Lore and Logic is. Hold on, let me get the box because I can't remember who it's from.
Man, you're not even prepared. Come on now.
Just over here. Of course,
and you see this, Drew? He's like, yo, you didn't read the message. You didn't put the thing on there, and then he's not even prepared to talk about it.
Right.
Well, it's right here. It's right here. It's from Weird Giraffe Games, and it is a 2-player only game where you are basically each player has a set of cards lined 0. Was it 0 to 9 or 1 to 10? It's 1 to 9. You have a line of cards lined up 1 to 9, and you are trying to figure out and align them from 1 to 9 without looking at them based off of the clues that you're getting from your opponent. So each player has a set of cards that they will lift up and show their opponent and then ask a set of questions. Based on those questions, there's little tokens and icons that you can place to help give you hints and tips about what each card is. So basically, if you ask the question, and you have to go down the list, and the second you get a yes, that ends that question phase. And so you have to go and are these aligned? Or are they in their spot? No. Are they symmetrical? Which means, do they add up to 10? If that's a no, are they neighbors? Meaning, are they next to each other within the lineup? If that's a no, then which one is higher? And then they let you know which one is higher. That's the end of your questioning. And it's just a very quick, fun puzzle game, mind game. The first person to line up all 10 cards wins. Once you line up a card and ask, is this aligned? If it is, you flip it. You can then, at that point, no longer ask questions involving that number, but you have one less number that you have to figure out. So you can't pick up the 2 that you know what it is a 2 and then pick up an unknown card and say, hey, are these neighbors? Are these alignment? Whatever, anything like that. You can't do that. So there's some strategy about figuring out whether or not you want to flip and check certain cards for alignment depending on the answers you have. Because generally, if you get an answer of they're symmetrical, you know those 2 will go into one of a handful of spots. It's either 2 and 8. It's 1 and 9, 2 and 8, 3 and 7, or 6 and 4. It's not going to be a 5, and you're always going to have them next to each other, where then you can start working with that card and other cards to figure out the alignment. And then once you know that those are potentially in the right spot, you can then start figuring out the rest of them with the ones that you have not aligned yet. But the second you pick it up and say, is this aligned? It's kind of game over for that. So yeah, it's a very interesting strategy game to play with a partner. Or just a friend. If it's just 2 players. That's it. Nothing else. There are advanced rule sets that we did not get into involving additional cards, that are constellation cards and black hole cards and things like that. There's little miniature dragon figures that you can use in this that I don't know what any of these are for, because we had too much fun with the base game, and it was most of us. It was my second time playing this game, but everyone else's first time playing the game. So it was we couldn't really get into the higher difficulty because we wanted to learn the base game. But it's just a very fun, cool game. The cards themselves are just really, really beautiful cards with different hollow. They're holographic type constellation cards and things like that. It's a really cool, well produced design game. It's just a neat concept, and it's nice for anybody who's just if you don't who has somebody to play with from time all the time. Cobb, you should probably grab this game and play it with Erica from time to time. or Drew,
Don't
you and
tell
your
me what to
partner.
do.
Look, your wife has come and said we don't get to have a lot of game nights anymore. Well, here's a 2-player game that's really fun. You can have game nights every day with this 2-player game.
I don't believe you.
I mean, it's 2 players. You can have them every day. Every day you want to have a game night, you can have a game. Hey, here's this 2-player game. Let's play it. And it's not like super competitive, even though like there is a winner and a loser. But it's just like it would be really fun to get into the more difficult rules, the harder play styles. And I think the next time I bring this over to friends that we have the opportunity to do a separated, like just 2-player game, I may try to do the advanced rule sets. But just the base game alone, just learning and puzzle solving and like mathing together which cards go where. Oh, Cobb, you're bad at math. You're gonna hate this game. That's right.
Oh yeah, I'm terrible at math. I hate math too. So
I mean, it's not really math. It's the only math is. Do you know which number is bigger between a 9 and a 3?
I mean, physically bigger or numerically bigger?
Like the higher number, the greater number.
I mean, yes.
Then that's and can you figure out if 2 numbers equal 10?
Usually, it depends on the numbers and whether it's addition or subtraction or division.
It's a pair of numbers between 1 and 9. There's 4 pairs that can equal up to 10 only in those set of cards. In those set of 9 cards, there's only 4 pairs. It's very easy. It's very easy.
Are there really only 4 ways you can get to 10 between 0 and 9?
Between 1 and 9,
adding the whole integers, yes.
Yes. There's 1 and 9. 1 plus 9 is 10. Yeah. 8 plus 2 is 10. 7 plus 3 is 10. 6 plus 4 is 10. There's only 4 combinations.
And 5 plus 5.
That's
but
no. You only have 1 5
without repeating a number.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's only 1 5 in that combination.
Never realized that.
Yeah, it's and it's, you know what makes it easier? They're in opposite spots of the lineup. So in the middle of the table is the 1 through 9 lineup. So you can, like, if the cards are flipped and you're having trouble figuring out if they math to 10, you can literally just see 8 and 2 are the second from the end and second from the end. 7 and 3 are third from the end. 4 and 6 are 4 from the end. Those are all in alignment. 1 and 9 are the first 2 cards, or first on each end. Those are in alignment. So you don't even need to do math. Math is you just need pattern recognition. You can recognize patterns. That's like an IT thing, I feel like.
Not really. But like I can recognize a pattern, yes.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a really cool game. Like I said, I want to get into some of the harder difficulties. One of the really fun rules about this game is, I mean, even though it's 8 and up, you can play with younger ages if they can understand the concept of figuring out where a number goes. And one of the rules is if a player who is playing is under the age of 10, so 9 or younger, they get to flip their age of that card. So if you're playing with a 6-year-old, you get to flip the 6 for them. So they get the 6, so that's 1 less card that they have to find in alignment.
Okay.
So it's like, that's an adorable rule. I love that.
Yeah, but then you'd be playing with children, and that seems terrible.
Not everyone hates children.
Okay. They should.
I mean, no, they shouldn't. Just you. But yeah, if I could show you guys these cards and what they look like, they're really cool. They're like tarot size as well. They're a little bit bigger, and like they spared no expense in putting together these cards. And I'm very excited about this game. And it's from, like I said, it's from Weird Giraffe Games, and it's really cool. I like it. I'll be putting a video up together. When we played it, I had my buddy record his perspective, and I recorded my perspective, so that I'm gonna put both videos on the screen. So like as I flip, you can see the card from his side, and as he flips, you can see the cards from my side and stuff. So I think it's gonna be a fun edit to put together. I thought about tracking the numbers on the screen. I ain't gonna do that. That's gonna be too much work for me to track it, because you end up moving the cards around on the table, so I'd end up having to move the numbers as the cards move, and I'll lose track of it. So it's going to be too much work.
I believe in you.
Yeah, and it's just going to be too much work, even if you believe in me. I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it. But yeah, that's really it. Logic and lore. I keep calling it lore and logic.
Oh,
Logic
yeah,
and lore.
I wrote down lore and logic because that's what you called it 3 times.
I mean, it's logic and lore. I thought it was lore and logic. Honestly, lore and logic just sounds better to me when saying the two words together.
But it's
It
not
does.
alphabetical order.
Huh?
But logic and lore is in alphabetical order.
I mean, I guess that might be the reason they did it, but probably not because it's not about alphabet; it's about numbers.
And lore has less letters in it than logic.
There you go.
Fuck your alphabet, true.
Yeah, but you're trying to put the things in order.
In
numerical
order. In numerical order of least to greatest.
Still an order.
Yeah, least to greatest.
Yeah, and you're putting the words in order of closest, least to greatest, closest to A, closest to Z.
No, least letters to most letters. Lore to logic. Least to greatest. Look, they both start with an LO, okay? So yes, it's logic and lore, not lore and logic. I'm sorry, Weird Giraffe Games. Like I said, I am tired. I have not been sleeping well. But it is still a very fun game. I plan on having that video up in a couple of weeks. The 2 videos up about the play session. I actually played this on Christmas with my dad. I don't remember if I talked about it.
I don't think so.
But it was funny. So the game comes with a bunch of tokens that you place on the cards every time you get a response. The tokens are color matched. So if you get a card, if you get a set of cards and one's greater, one's lesser, you can get a purple color matched token set of lesser and greater and put them on the cards you just checked. So I was doing that, and my dad would grab, say he got something that would be symmetrical, meaning they added up to 10. He would grab 2 symmetrical tokens, put them on there. One was blue and one was red. I'm like, no. And I switch, and he's like, what? I'm like, they're color matched. What do you mean? You want to put the 2 same colors so you know those are the set. He was so confused about the tokens. It was the most adorable thing. And then we get into playing, and we get to the end of the game, and I have none of my cards flipped. I have not aligned any of my cards, but I have like an idea of where some of them go. And I wasn't playing super smart and strategically. I was just like trying it out and figuring things out. Where my dad had 3 cards left. So it gets to his turn, he gets 2, they get aligned, he has 1 left, but I still get my turn before he gets to ask his. And there is an option, there's a turn, an optional turn you can take, an optional action you can take on your turn, which is reveal the skies or something like that. I believe it's what it's called. I can't remember fully what it's called. I have the book right here. It is Align the Stars. Yes, it's called Align the Stars. It's an optional turn where you can, if you think you're right, flip your cards. And if you are wrong, game is over. You lose. Damn. If you are right, you win. So I had an idea. I was like, all right, I think I got this. And I positioned some cards, and I was like, I'm going to align the stars. I had 2 cards off. None of them were flipped. I started flipping them. And I think it was the 7 and 9 that I had off. So I was getting excited. I was like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 8, 7. Shit. It's that close to winning out of having nothing flipped. And that's generally what everyone's last turn. If you know your opponent is going to win next turn, you're going to try to align the stars. Mm. It's a viable strategy. If you know you are set, which sometimes you don't know you're set. If you know you're set and you only have a handful left, you can align the stars. I don't like doing it unless it's a desperate measure because you could be wrong. If you have 3 cards left and you think you have them right, imagine aligning the stars and having them wrong. So if I have 3 cards left, I always check and make sure at least 2 of the last 3 are matched up before, and I'll give them that extra turn. I'm like, I don't care. If you win by aligning the stars and not having much, as much or any of the same amount as me flipped, if you win by aligning it by the Hail Mary, more power to you. You deserve it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I will say, it does seem like it could be a fun game.
It is. It was a very fun game. We each, so there's 3 of us at the game day, and we each played a round with each other. So there was 3 rounds played. I won, and the person who didn't get to play was like, I'll play the loser. And then between those two, the person who lost against me won. So then I had to play him. I won again. So that I won twice. One person lost twice, and one person won and lost one. And it was like my buddy was like, I'm buying it right away, and I'm also texting a couple of friends who I think would absolutely love this as well. I'm like, great,
nice. You know, got some people to find a new game they enjoy.
Yeah, and again, it's especially for people who like. It's just the two of you. It's a very easy game to play and put. Hey, we got nothing going on today. Let's do some logic and lore. Let's play it real quick. Hey, let's get into some of the advanced rules and let's see how that goes. Or we can just do the basic rules. It's also a fun game in the basic rules.
Yeah. Nice. Would you like to move along and talk about Resident Evil 9?
Yeah. Let's get into Resident Evil 9. So Resident Evil 9 came out on Friday, which was that the 28th, I believe?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the 28th. No, 27th.
No. Yeah, you're right. 27th.
Yeah. Sorry.
So it came out, Resident Evil 9, Resident Evil Requiem came out on Friday, and I took off Friday to play it. I got about halfway through on Friday, and then on Saturday, I got maybe another almost, like, I had only 2 hours left on Monday when I played it, and then I beat it on Monday. I very much enjoy this game. I think they did a great job with it. I think they did better with this one, with what they tried to do in Resident Evil. I know they did better in this one than what they tried to do in Resident Evil 6. So in Resident Evil 6, you played as different characters, and each storyline was a slightly different play style, whether it be like hardcore just action if you're playing as Chris, or maybe a little bit more survival horror-y. For the most part, it was all action. This one
was like, correct me if I'm wrong, 6 was the one where like you actually alternate versus like the older games where it was play the whole game as one character, then you can go back and play it alternate path as the other character sort of deal, right?
Yes, and no. So Resident Evil 1 and 2, you chose your character, and there wasn't much of an alternate path in Resident Evil 1. They just so in Resident Evil 1, it would be that Jill had the lockpick and Chris had the lighter, and so
right.
the only real altering is like whatever a key item you have would help you do certain things faster. Resident Evil 2 is the only game that you had two separate characters that did have differing paths. Leon dealt with Mr. X and Ada, and Claire dealt with Sherry and William. Resident Evil 3 was just Jill and was just Nemesis. That was it. Resident Evil 0, you had Rebecca, and I don't even remember what's his face's name. But you switched between the two actively while playing it. It was, and then 4 was just Leon. 5, you had Chris and Sheva, but you only played as Chris unless you were playing multiplayer. 6, yes. 6 was, there were like 4 different storylines happening in like the same several months, in like the same time period. And like the characters would eventually interact with each other throughout their storylines, but it would be, you played as different characters. And like to get the whole story, you had to play as each character. But it considered beating the game after playing it through as one character, because you did technically beat their story. You beat that part of the game. And it was Leon even in that one?
Which one?
He was in 6. I think he was. He might have been. He should have been. But he didn't really have a prominent role.
I'm pretty sure he was. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it was Leon. Leon ran a storyline. I don't know who his. No, I don't think he was. It was Chris ran a storyline. Sherry had her own storyline.
Sherry, like the little girl from 2?
Resident Evil 2, who she then was alongside Wesker's son.
According to the internet, 6 was Chris, Leon, Jake, and Ada were the 3 or the 4 main playable characters.
Yeah, Jake and Sherry were together. Chris and somebody, and then Leon and somebody. Because
it was Chris and Piers, Leon and Helena, and Ada and Agent.
Well, yeah, Agent was just a placeholder to allow it to be multiplayer. He was not in any cutscenes.
Oh yeah, I see that now. Her
Yeah.
own campaign that can be played solo or with a non-canonical partner. So
Yeah.
that so her playthrough is very much the Resident Evil 5 playthrough, where you're in a way, because like the secondary PC character, if you're not playing multiplayer, like she was part of the story, but was also kind of pointless.
No, I mean she did some good stuff. Like the
Did she?
her, but in Resident Evil 5, Sheva actually did shit. In Resident Evil 6 with Ada's story, Agent is not even in it unless you're playing multiplayer.
Oh, interesting. So it's not like it's not just
He,
an AI character.
no,
If
it's
you're
just the character is only there for multiplayer.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
And yeah, I think it was Jake's story was Jake, and I believe it was Sherry. And if it wasn't Sherry, it was the president's daughter, but I don't think it was the
No,
president's
no,
daughter.
it was Sherry according
Yeah.
to Google.
Yeah. So, but in that, like you played as different characters, and like each story would slightly, or each play mode would slightly change how like the feel of the game, but it was just done very poorly. This one, you play as Leon, and you play as Grace. Grace, her game style is more along the lines of Resident Evil 7 and 8, and like Biohazard and Village, where it's first person, it's more tense, there's a lot more um, uh, 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 survival horror aspects of like limited supplies, limited stock, limited ammo, and things like that, and it's very puzzle oriented. Where Leon's playthrough is more action based, and it's more based on like Resident Evil 4, specifically 4 remake, and kind of more on like the 2 remake and stuff like that. Where to upgrade weapons and things like that, you get battle points, and you can purchase upgrades in the box and things like that. And they do both sides very good in this one. They do it very good. The tension and suspense in Grace's storyline and Grace's playthroughs are really good because it makes you really have to think. And then just the action in general in Leon's is very well done. They did a very good job at it. I never played 4 remake, but like they lean on a lot of that from what I'm told in this one. Story overall is very interesting and very good. I did not hate it. I don't really want to spoil it too much. I don't know how much you guys may be interested in playing it, but
I mean,
the
I'm probably
story-
never going to. I don't
yeah.
know about Drew.
But the story isn't like too incredibly over the top. They actually kept it fairly grounded. The going back to Raccoon City was a very interesting take on it. You actually go back to old look. You go back to the police station, and where you start in Raccoon City when you get into Raccoon City proper. So there's a section of Raccoon City that's on the outskirts, then there's a boss fight, and then you get in Raccoon City proper. Where you start there and walk through is the exact path you walk through as Leon in Resident Evil 2. So like it brings you back. The music sets you up for the music when you enter into the police station. You visit some locations from there earlier. There's a couple of stupid puzzles you have to figure out that are just like I had to look up and Google them. There's a lockbox in the Stars room that is a very convoluted lockbox to pick. And what it is you can find a note that's Barry having a to-do list. And one of the things in the to-do list is to return a book to the library. Return the book that the captain borrowed to the library. If you were to go to where the library card is to find out what the book was, before you get that note and open that drawer, it's not in there. You need that note first, then you need to go to the drawer. You check it. It will say it's blank. Then you have to check it a second time, and the card will then drop from above the drawer. You then grab it, and it gives you the type of book that it is. And then you have to go to the library, find the book, and then go to the container and open it up because it gives you it gives you the code in the book. It was like that was so convoluted. Like I had to look it up because it's like I'm not leaving here until I get this code. And it was very dumb having to like check the same spot 2 or 3 times. But like it was cool being back there. It was cool seeing like the destroyed area. It's been 30 years since that point, right? Yeah, 30 years.
Yeah,
Um,
just like
and then
Pokemon.
you go to Kendo's shop, which is the gun shop outside of there, and like you head to the orphanage, which Leon never went to the orphanage. That was all Jill. So this is his first time going, and you check out the orphanage.
Wait, that's Claire, isn't it?
Claire, yeah, Claire, not Jill, Claire. Um, and then you encounter a Mr. X. There's another Mr. X that you have to fight, and yeah, they do a fight with him, and it was really cool being back to Raccoon City and checking it out and seeing the destruction, and then what this whole storyline is going. I will spoil this little bit of it. So spoiler alert for anyone, just like give me like 10 seconds. Leon is dying in the game. He is infected with the T virus, and he has got a long-term infection with the T virus from Resident Evil 2. Sherry, who is working with Leon, also is dying because she also has T virus infection. So his basically
he's had it for 30 years.
It's not like, I don't know if it's maybe more of a mutation that happened, but due to the exposure that he had, because I'm assuming canonically he doesn't get actually bit in the game. It's just that's a gameplay design. But due to the aerosol exposure and aerial exposure, it's like a mutation that slowly feeds into him over time, and then as he gets older, it started to infect him, I guess, or something like that. Because he is 50. He's in his 50s, or about that. Sherry's 30.
Like again, it's been 30 years, so that does make sense.
So yeah, like they don't really get into too much detail about it. It's just the game starts with Grace being sent to investigate someone who has these strange black markings on them and was murdered. And then when you first encounter Leon, he is investigating another murder of somebody similar, and they let you know that murder and those markings is a T virus infection, and somebody is killing people that were infected with the T virus, and then it goes from there. So they don't really get into the rest of it about that. And it was really cool, and the game has two endings. It lets you choose between. One ending is like depressing but sweet, and then the other ending is the true ending. And it's the true ending because it adds an extra 30 minutes of gameplay. And it was very interesting to see both endings. If you pick the wrong ending, it will say, do you want to go back and make a different choice? And so then you go back and make the different choice. But picking the bad ending counts as beating the game. So any of the challenges that have you like beat the game, there's two challenges. One is beat the game without collecting blood, and the other one is beat the game without using any healing items. Those challenges just say beat the game. So it's just do the bad ending. Whereas there's a challenge that is like beat the game doing this in under 4 hours. It's like, all right, you have to do the whole thing. There's a puzzle in the game that takes minimum 2 playthroughs to get, if not more, and you have to be very, like, now that I know the solve, I understand how to get to how I kind of understand the solve, I think, but it is ridiculous. So, because it's not even something that really gets hinted at until you get to a certain point of the game, and it's multiple steps that once you get to another certain point, you can't start the quest until after you get to a point. So it actually takes 3 playthroughs, I would think. Yeah, you can't start the quest until you get to a point after there is a key point of the quest that needs to be done, unless you know about this. And so it takes minimum 3 playthroughs to do. Jeez. If done properly. If you don't know anything of the quest or of the puzzle, and all it is going to get you like an achievement for doing it. It doesn't really get you it doesn't get you an item in game. It doesn't like make the game easier. It just, well, technically it does make the game easier because by doing this, you get points that you can spend on bonus content to make your next runs easier, like infinite ammo and stuff like that. But the what it takes is, and again, you don't get any reference to this until you get to a point where you come up an elevator and the boss of Grace's story, which is named the girl, her hand gets severed. You can pick up her hand. There is then, you can do a DNA analyzer, and it gives you a code of letters. You can then find sprinkled throughout the game like hints to what these letters mean. And when you figure out what the letters mean, there is a code that you put into a machine somewhere else in the game that will activate something. However, to do that, you need to do that part of the quest and put the code in, you need to bring the little girl with you. There's a little girl in the game that you're carrying around and protecting. You need to bring her with you and do this. But you also need an item. You can't get that item unless you do a point in the game where you have to process 150 zombies in a certain area. And once you do that and process their blood and then do a certain thing, it'll give you a word, or it'll give you a saying when you process them. Then later on in the game, after you get through the severed hand, you're running from a location, and there was a doll. There should be, if you're done properly, there should be a doll on the ground that you can then pick up. You cannot get back to the point to put in the code at the point that you get the doll. So minimal. It's going to take you 2 playthroughs because you need that doll to go put in the code with the little girl. There's a couple of other steps in the middle that I didn't really explain that, like, it's so convoluted how you're supposed to figure this shit out.
I mean, like, I feel like that's like the thing with some of these games, right? Like, you're not supposed to be able to do it like on the first try.
I mean, not just, this is just a challenge though. This isn't like, you're not getting anything from doing this. This isn't solving the game. Like, this is just a challenge.
Okay.
And like I don't understand how people determined that it was like 150 corpses that you have to process.
In some cases, they might be reading like the code of the game.
Maybe. I don't think so. I think people there's a lot of people out there, especially games like this, where like there are people that will stay away from the code and stuff until they figure out the puzzles. And like there are references. So like one of the things you have to do is flush a toilet 8 times. And the only way you would know to flush a toilet 8 times is somewhere else in the game there is a toilet with a dead body in it, and on the wall there is blood that looks like it's in an 8. So when you get to the toilet that you can flush, you're supposed to know and have noticed the 8 on that wall.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I'm trying. I want to figure out. I'm looking at the IGN article for this. But you get a book, a file that you can read, and that probably hints at some of this quest, or some of this puzzle. But I don't know where people figured out the 150. It's 115 bodies, but it requires you to pretty much go to a certain point and sit for 15 minutes while bodies are processing. You just got to wait for 15 minutes.
Interesting. That's some of the weird shit that they come up with for like challenges or puzzles or whatever. It's weird. Like, why that?
Okay, so here we go. I found it. The first big clue comes from the Subject 170 record found in a research lab under the care center's courtyard. It mentions that a sample of blood was given to Marie, collected from 115 infected. So boom, right there, you got it. I need to remember 115 infected. Then you get to the area where you process the infected. It's like, oh, now you're supposed to think I should process 115 of them. Once processing, and there's a section after like dropping them into the thing where the zombies are coming at you. You cannot kill them. You have to process them. You have to push them through the spinning blades. If you kill them, it will not count. Even if you processed more than 115, if you kill a single one, it will not count. then yeah, it's a file that you read that has a picture of a zombie over a toilet, and it looks like a letter 8 or the number 8. So then you find the toilet and you flush it. Then you run for your life and you hopefully find
Run for your life.
There's one point where you end up having to run for your life. Yeah. There's a few points of that, and you end up finding the doll. Where if you find the doll, it says in the description, "We'll be together forever." So then once you beat the game, you have the doll in your box the next time. However, the point where you find the doll, the point where you can start figuring out the severed hand stuff is once you get to that point, you can't go back. So you're like without knowing about this, you can't do it on your first playthrough. Even with knowing of this, you can't do it on your first playthrough. It's insane. It's insane.
That does actually sound like a lot.
It is. It's like a fun thing, but it's so much. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, I beat it. I enjoyed it. I started Insanity mode, which is their hardest difficulty. I attempted it for about 2 hours. I restarted it once, and I gave up. Because Grace doesn't get a real gun at the same point that you get it in the main playthrough. And I was attempting this stuff for 2+ hours, and I needed to get into a room, and I didn't have a gun in that room. So I was just like, I don't know what to do. And I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. If I'm going to do an Insanity run, I'm going to get unlimited ammo. Because Grace gets the Requiem, which is the strongest weapon in the game. Will kill most enemies in one hit. So I'm just like, at this point with like enemies will even if they grab you. Generally in these games, if an enemy grabs you and you have an item that you can stab into them to stop them, they will not hurt you. In Insanity mode, they will hurt you, and if you do not have any health upgrades for Grace, they will kill her in one hit.
That's nice of them.
Yeah, so it got to a point I just got fed up with it. So I gave up on that run, and I'm doing my no heals run. Which I'm just so afraid I'm going to fuck up because I am afraid I'm going to accidentally heal. So I'm trying to remember to always put healing items in the box or sell them whenever I have the chance.
Just
because
so,
healing
you
is
don't. No, like what
Yeah.
if like I'm trying to think of the right way to word this. If you hit like a spot where like there's just like an auto heal or something like that, that's fine, right? I assume
it's no healing items. Don't use any
Okay.
healing items. So every time there's a character change, you heal.
Oh, okay.
So it's just don't use healing items. And I'm like, that's gonna be the easier of the challenges because I can do the no healing items and any other challenge that I have that's like collecting all the files, playing on classic mode, things like that, that'll get me the points I need to buy unlimited ammo. So then I can try to attempt my no blood speed run, and because I'll just have the Requiem with unlimited ammo, and that's where I'm like, all right, get to the 4 hours, just get it done in under 4 hours. And I could then also attempt an Insanity run with unlimited ammo. But I think my goal is to just get to the point where I have all but the Insanity run done, and maybe buy some of the weapons that might make it easier, and try the Insanity run again without without an unlimited ammo. And then if it gets to be too much, I'll use unlimited ammo, but I won't use it as the Requiem. I'll use it with every other weapon. So that'll still like give me the challenge.
Right.
But Insanity mode, it was too much. I was stuck in a section for an hour and a half, restarted. It took me more time that I was stuck in that section than it did for me to get back into that section. And then it still took me another half hour to get out of that section. And then once I did, I attempted a couple more runs like in the next part. And that's when I was like, this is just, I'm not there. You don't get a gun. I can't do it. I gotta stop because they move items around throughout the game. They're not all in the same spot. So early on, as Grace, when you're running through a room, you can grab a gun that's off the floor. That's not on the floor. It's positioned somewhere else that you don't go to till later on in the game. So there's a good portion of the game where you just don't have a gun besides the one bullet in the Requiem. And it's just, it's nuts. It's nuts. But yeah, it's great. I really enjoy Resident Evil. I think it's a lot of fun.
That's good. I'm glad you're enjoying that one. I have definitely heard a lot of good things about the new one. Like
Yeah.
every podcast I listen to has been talking about it, and even the people that like aren't super into Resident Evil are just like, no, like this is good.
Yeah.
Like they have like some of them are just like, like Grace kind of sucks because her sections are so much harder. This is what like they're saying on the show, but also it's like it's working because they're having the same reactions as her. Like something will happen, the person will go, "Oh shit," and then 2 seconds later in the game, Grace will go, "Oh shit."
Yeah. Yeah. And it's as weird as it's going to sound to say, I think, it seems like Grace has a stutter, and it's really nice to see a main character have a stutter in a game. I don't think it's just out of fear. I think she just legitimately has a stutter, because there are a lot of points in the game where she is stuttering when she's talking. And I'm just like, that's really cool. Like, you don't see that often. Like, it's a minor bit of representation, but it's still representation.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. Like that, and that isn't something like unless it's done for comedy. Like really, like you just don't see it all that often.
Yeah, like I mean, and again, it could just be she's scared and anxiety ridden, but it doesn't. There are times where she's just legitimately like, it sounds just like an actual stutter and not like a fear stutter. So who knows? But it's really cool. I plan on trying to get all the achievements for this. I think the speed run's going to be the hardest. Just because I tend to not have a memory of like where things are and what to do. But that's why I want to do that with unlimited ammo, so that I could just pop on the Requiem and just run through everything. But at the same time, the Requiem has such a kickback that I don't know if that's going to be the best plan, is to just use that. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Nice. Well, hopefully you manage to get as many of the achievements as you can.
I want them all. I want to get my full-on money's worth of a game that I spent $70 on. So I'm gonna try to get them all. I'm gonna do all the challenges.
Well, again, best of luck with that, because it seems like it's not going to be the easiest challenge.
No, it's once I get the unlimited ammo, Insanity is going to be a breeze. It's going to be the 4 hours, and that's going to take a couple of tries.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. Well, I guess moving along, I've been playing this action platformer puzzler game called Pepper Grinder. Don't know if you guys have ever heard of that.
I've not.
So I had gotten it. I actually bought it a while ago, and it was just kind of like sitting on my Steam Deck. Because some podcast I listened to was talking about it. I think it might have actually been MinMax was talking about it. And it's got like a little bit of like Celeste vibes as far as like the gameplay goes. But you're playing a character, and she is, like a little pirate sort of character with this big drill. That's the grinder in the game. And all of your movement is kind of based around that. So when you drill into things like dirt or water and stuff, you kind of get like propelled through it. Similar to in parts of Celeste. Rich, you'll remember this from when you played it. There are like those levels where there's like the jelly blocks that you kind of like jump through, and it like sends you through them in like one direction really quickly.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's more like Ori and the Blind Forest, or Ori and the Will o' the Wisp. There was like a drill feature, which I'm gonna be honest. This is not to stop you, but I'm pretty sure we had a very similar conversation, because I think you talked about this once before.
I never played it before.
This is not the first time I remember looking this up on Steam, at least, and I could have sworn maybe it was from you. But okay, never mind then.
Yeah, no. So I literally installed it and played it for the first time like earlier this week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I'm double checking too on the thing for you last.
Unless there was another like action platformer that was very similar to this.
So I mean, there are always action platformers for sure. But no, nothing that I can think of that is like this one. But yeah, you're traveling around these worlds. You shipwrecked. All your treasure got stolen by like the inhabitants of the island. So you're going around to get your treasure back from all these nefarious characters. And unlike Celeste, there's actually like enemies and stuff like that in the world that you have to use your drill to take out. And some enemies are just like little like crabby dudes that you have to come at them from like underneath to actually do damage to them. There's a few things that are, I guess they're narwhal-esque guys because they have like horns on their face and they're kind of seal shaped and they will jump into whatever thing you can pass through, whether it's dirt or water or whatnot, and you have to ram them with your drill before they hit you. And then there's there's boss fights and stuff. The first boss fight is like this big snail kind of guy that's has a shell and there's a guy riding him. And the snail will go around the level. The level is very circular. And around the edges and at the top is a path of like the dirt that you can drill through. So kind of the way that you have to go about that one is you have to get into the sides and kind of wander back and forth in the dirt to get the snail to travel up it. And then you have to shoot out of the dirt at the snail's like underbelly to knock it down, which then knocks the rider off and you can then go attack the rider. So it's one of those like you get like 2 or 3 hits on the rider and then he gets back onto the snail and you repeat that. The whole time the rider is shooting at you, like shooting like energy blasts at you that you have to dodge. So it's a little bit of like a bullet hell in that sense too. Because legitimately like he's shooting a lot and it gets kind of like chaotic to try and like avoid them.
Mm-hmm.
But it's got that cool like Super Meat Boy Celeste kind of like vibe when it comes to the platforming, where you are just trying to make it through the level without getting destroyed by something. Unlike those two games, it's not like a one-hit kill. If you get hit by like a spike ball or a bomb or something, you just do damage because you do have life in this because there are just enemies around too. But you can also very easily get hit like 3 times in a row if you're kind of traveling through like a long path and you're just doing a bad job of staying centered. And when that happens, you do potentially die before you get to the end, or you get to the end with like 1 health left, look ahead and realize you have like another shitty path to go on and no way to heal. So it's not quite as, it's weird. It's both not as punishing as some of those other platformers are, but also can be a little bit more so because you're not just respawning right at like the beginning of like a screen, essentially, the way those two games do it. But I've been having fun so far. None of the levels have been like crazy hard. But some of them have like little puzzles you have to figure out too. It's not just like the hard platforming. The big one that keeps popping up so far for me are there'll be red and blue doors, and some of them are actually just like flat doors, like you open them and close them. Other ones are like L-shaped, where when you hit it, it'll rotate it. So you have to kind of make sure you're rotating it in the right direction. And generally they're just it's one way, so it's not like you can like rotate it all the way around. But the only way to trigger the doors is to come at them with the drill through water or the dirt. And generally, if you hit like a blue door, all of the blue doors open or close, and vice versa with the red. So there's a couple times where you have to strategically kind of like open one to come up to another to open that one to then close the first one to make a platform out of it, essentially. And in one case, there's actually it's an elevator that you have to control, that you use your drill as like the spinning mechanic to make the elevator go up. But as it goes up, it gets blocked by the doors. So you have to kind of open one, raise it as high as you can, and then before it falls all the way down, you have to quickly maneuver around the level, back out the other side, and hit the door back up so that the door catches the platform so that you can then keep going up again.
Mm-hmm.
So like I enjoy those sorts of platforms where like it's not too hard. It's just you have to kind of like figure out the right path and the right timing to figure it out.
Yeah. It sounds pretty streamlined and different enough. I'm watching the
It looks really like visually,
stuff
it's actually really cool looking.
Yeah,
like it's cartoony and vibrant.
Yeah, it does look like, I could have swore there was something you talked about like a couple of months ago that looked very similar to this. I just don't remember what it was because I
may have talked about buying it a couple months ago.
Because
I did buy it back in like November. So I guess that it must have been during like the Steam sale. I bought that game Peak that you guys were talking about last week.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't even realize it. And something else that I'm drawing a blank on right now. So I was trying to find something else in Steam, and I was trying to find out when I bought it, and I went into like my purchase history. And I was looking, I'm like, oh shit, I didn't realize I bought these. And like I looked through the Steam Deck, I'm like, oh, there they are. And like I said, like I was kind of in the mood for just something not too hard. Sorry, Ben woke up and decided he needed to walk into the bedroom and bark. When it's something that wasn't like real like story intensive or like had to pay a ton of attention to. So I downloaded that and started playing it.
Yeah.
Danny,
Yeah.
what are you doing, you weirdo? He literally woke up, walked into the hallway, looked around, nobody's in the hallway, and then just walked into the dark bedroom and just started barking. Like,
See you. He couldn't see you.
Yeah, but he was laying next to me.
But he couldn't see you.
Yeah, because he left like a goober.
Doesn't matter. He still couldn't see you.
He's a butthead. He's a good boy though.
He's the goodest boy.
He is.
He means so well. He just wanted to see you.
He does not like being alone.
But like buddy.
Sometimes he gets up and wanders away, and then he just barks. Or the thing that he'll do too is like if he's downstairs sleeping on the sofa, and I get up, he'll wake up and he'll look at me and he'll watch me come upstairs, and he will just sit on the sofa and bark because it's like, no, you left. How dare you leave? You need to come back down here where I am. I'm not coming up to you.
I mean, you don't want the old man to move. Like, he shouldn't need to move too much. He's an old man. You work around him, not him work around you.
Sometimes you got to get up.
Nope. You're not allowed to get up. You're not allowed to poop. None of that.
But yeah, back to Pepper Grinder. It's been fun. And it's one of those like I can just kind of pick it up, turn it on, and play. Like I don't have to worry about like a story or like where I left off or anything like that. It's just you just go.
Nice.
Yeah.
It sounds fun. It looks really cool. It's got a cool style to it. I like it.
Yeah, and like if you enjoy the like platformers like that, I wouldn't say it's as in depth or whatnot as like Meat Boy or Celeste or any of those ones that people like really sink time into, but it's still fun and like it's a good one of those.
I mean, this also just came. Well, not just came. It's 2 years old, but like it's probably it's not as old as Celeste and Meat Boy, so it probably doesn't have like any or as much DLC or whatnot. And I'm sure there's
you figure like Celeste hit at a time where like it just got popular without any DLC. Like between the story and the gameplay and everything, it was just people really latched onto it. This one is one of those ones where like it's got good reviews, like it's definitely well received. But it didn't hit that kind of like everyone was talking about it when it launched. So
yeah,
it is worth checking out though. And I don't know how much it is right now, but I know when I bought it, it was on like a stupid sale. So like it definitely gets really cheap if it's not already cheap.
It's 15 right now.
Yeah, so I'm if I remember correctly, I think I bought it for under 10. Like I think it was like 7 or 8. Because that's kind of why I picked it up, because it was one of those like heard people talking about it on a show. It sounded cool, and I looked it up, and it was on a sale. And I'm like, oh, sure, why not? Like it is under $10. Let's give it a shot. But yeah, that's it. Pepper Grinder's cool.
Nice.
Did you guys want to talk any about the Pokemon Day Direct thing, whatever they're calling that? Because it's not a Nintendo Direct. I forget. Pokemon Presents. There you go.
It was a Pokemon Presents or for Pokemon Day, and like overall, it wasn't a bad presentation. Like I don't think it was terrible. Like there's people that are saying that it was like generally bad. I'm like, I don't think so, because that's what these
uneventful.
I mean, they always are.
They are, but so here's my complaint. They kind of like hyped it up because it was a 30th anniversary. They had nothing truly big other than Gen 10 reveal at the end for like the 30th. And on top of that, for whatever dumb reason, they announced the Fire Red Leaf Green on the Switch stuff a week ahead of time. It's like even if that got leaked, because Wind and Waves also got leaked. Still save the official release for the actual Direct or Presents. This way you have at least something a little bit more like, oh yeah, here's like a big anniversary thing too. Not just a 6.5 year anniversary for Pokemon Master thing? Masters DX or whatever that thing's called.
The website for the Pokemon.com website lists Fire Red and Leaf Green as an announcement during it, I believe.
It was not though. We know that. They didn't even talk about it in the Presents.
I personally don't remember.
No, like they 100% didn't. The biggest kind of like nostalgia game they talked about would be the Coliseum XD Gale of Darkness.
Yeah.
Because everything else, it was very much their standard. Hey, there's an update coming to Unite. Hey, there's an update coming to Sleep. Hey, there's an update coming to, again, that Masters EX or DX, or I don't know what that one is actually called, but it's like just the battling game. Like there was nothing really announced in it. It was like 20 minutes that really should have just been the trailer for Wind and Wave, if they weren't going to include the Fire Red Leaf Green in it.
Oh, it wasn't. They did mention Fire Red and Leaf Green in it because it's going to be compatible with home and shit.
Right. I forgot about that.
So they did mention it. I was doing a quick scroll through the thing. Yeah, but I mean, like, to be honest, it's what every year we get one of these, and this is why I say it's not bad, is because it's what was expected. Here's all of
always bad is the thing, right?
I don't think it's always. I never thought these were bad. They're showcasing everything that they have coming out in the next year or so, and or all of the big updates that are coming out, because they have so many different, for lack of a better term, live service games. I
mean, that's what they are, right? They are live service games.
They're showcasing, like, here's what we got going for this, here's what we got going for that, because Pokemon is such a widespread community. Do one video that's about 30 minutes long to showcase everything coming out in the next 6 to 8 months, rather than doing 10 2.5-minute videos for each one.
Don't they break all? Do they? I forget. Don't they break them all out into individual videos anyway?
Yeah. You can go to their Pokemon page and you can check out all of the announcements as well. But, like, you're going to get more eyes on everything if you do it all in one, as well as each individual. Because if you do it all in one, somebody's going to sit there when they first announce it and watch it all. Like some of us may have done. Like I didn't watch it as it launched, but I watched it later on in the day, and I didn't check. The only thing I had seen were the Gen 10, right?
Yeah, Gen 10.
Were the Gen 10 Pokemon. I didn't see anything else about it. And I watched the whole thing, and it's like, this is why I say it wasn't bad, because, like, we may not be Pokemon Unite fans, but there are stuff for Pokemon Unite fans. There's stuff for the Pokemon ZA stuff coming out. There were things for the Masters and the Cafe and Pokemon Sleep. Like, they have so much constantly rolling that it's easy to just do it all on. I'm like, all right, yeah, they saved the big announcement for last. The only thing I think that was bad about this was that we're not getting Gen 10 till next year. It's the Pokemon 30th anniversary. You should have planned a little bit better and given us Gen 10 this year, in my opinion.
Yeah. But, like, they don't, like, Nintendo and Pokemon Company and stuff just they don't really put thought like that into things.
No.
I mean, the same reason, like, Fire Red and Leaf Green, like, they're ROMs. That's all they are. Like, they've done, and, like, not that they needed to. Like, I'm not saying that, like, oh, that's bullshit. I don't particularly care. I didn't buy them. I own them already. But yeah, they did nothing to them except they apparently fixed the Legendary Beast glitch, because those games had like an actual glitch where you could not catch them if, I think, like, Entei used Roar or something like that. Like, there was something very, like, unique where if you encountered him and he used Roar, he disappeared from the map forever and you could never catch him again. And Roar was one of his 4 moves. So they apparently patched that for this release, and they also, when you complete the Elite Four and become the champion after you unlock the national decks, they apparently give you the 2 tickets to go be able to catch Deoxys and somebody else, maybe Ho-Oh or Lugia, depending on which game. Which that's cool, because the at least, like, back in 2005 or whatever, that was a if you didn't live in Japan, you couldn't get them, because it was still very much the US did like 2 events and you had to go to a store and they'd have to transfer it to your game. Whereas like in Japan, they did it regularly. You could just go to, like, the Pokemon Center in, like, Tokyo and get the tickets for it. But, you know, like, we see so many other re-releases of old games like that from other companies where it's like they just had a little bit of quality of life, like the ability to speed up the games and stuff like that. Things even like save states, like you can do on the like the SNES and NES stuff. Because it's not like from what I understand, like that you can't even trade with people right now. I don't know if that's true or not because like I haven't really looked into it, but like it seems like a lot of people are like there's not like a good way to do just regular trading and battling either. Like there's no like online feature. So like you are just until they release home, you're kind of stuck for being able to do anything.
Yeah,
Um,
I haven't looked into it too much. I mean, it's kind of a bad counter argument, but this is the counter argument I can have. They didn't have to do any of this. They didn't have to release this.
I mean, no, I agree. Like I'm just simply saying like it's one of those they released it. It's $20. It's a ROM.
But
Like,
we kind of had this argument when the announcement was made. Either way, people were going to complain, whether it was going to
oh
be
yeah,
$20 or on the Switch Online thing. Either way, people were going to complain because it's locked behind a paywall if it's on Switch Online, or I have to pay $20.
yeah, and I feel and yeah, we did talk about that before. Like the internet's not going to be happy regardless, but
Yeah.
it's just one of those like Nintendo and the Pokemon Company. Like they generally don't really give a shit about a lot of that stuff. Like they want to make money, so
Yeah,
like
it's
they're going to
capitalism.
they're going to do the bare minimum to make money on any of this stuff. It's the same reason why like every generation we talk about like the Pokemon games and how frankly they kind of look like shit. Even the newest ones, like yes, they don't look awful, but you compare it to a lot of other Switch games, and like they look kind of like shit. Like the draw distances are bad. Like there's tons of pop in, and then like things that have been in games since 2000, like voice acting, just doesn't exist in these games for like no real reason. And
Mhm.
like I play a lot of games with just the sound turned down anyway because I'm playing them while we're watching TV. So like I don't care that much that there's no voice acting. But at the same time, the way that certain things are delivered in these games, like there absolutely should be fucking voice acting as an option because it just looks fucking stupid otherwise. Especially like I talked about a little bit with ZA. Like some of that game was very story heavy in like a good way, and some of like the cutscenes, especially at the end, like not having like any sort of like voice acting, actually kind of like detracted from it because you'd have these like character moments where you couldn't focus on what the characters were doing because you're trying to keep up with all the dialogue that's happening like in the text box below. So you know, just they again like they just they're going to put out the product they're going to put out. I hope Generation 10 is good, but after Generation 9, like I want to actually see if they keep any of the cool stuff from the Legends games or if they just go right back to kind of like lowest common denominator. Because
Like
like
that's my thing is like the Generations game or the Legends games, not Generations. Legends games tend to like they
they're
have some
trying new
great
things right now.
concepts. They're trying things, and from the little snippets of a trailer that we got from the different like actual in-game content that we may have seen, like it does look like they are pulling a little bit more from the Legends games when it comes to exploring and capturing Pokemon and stuff. That like I think we are going to see more of a combination of the two. I like it looks like the trainer just straight up catches a Pikachu while out on the field. It doesn't look like they actually had to fight the Pikachu. The world itself I'm really interested in. I thought it looked great.
I think there was also like a not in-game tag on the screen if I remember correctly.
I mean, there was, yeah, at the very beginning of it when it was a straight up cutscene.
No, I think that
Uh,
stayed on there once they like flashed to showing like the island and stuff too. I might be misremembering. So by all means, if I am good, because yeah, like some of the stuff they showed actually did look pretty good.
so yeah, it's the normal not it's not a representation of actual gameplay experience, screenshots and footage from product and development, and not final. Is all it is. It's the
Okay.
normal. We're
Yeah.
still working on this. This is beta or alpha footage kind of stuff. So like if like I saw somebody complain that like the trailer was having frame issues, which I didn't see any frame issues in the trailer. Um,
I mean, they could have also just had their fucking YouTube settings
yeah.
fucked up.
Yeah. So, but like for the most part, like generally when it's like what it looks like is there's going to be free capture. There's not going to be require the combat and the battles. I'm just happy that I might be able to style my trainer more than just schoolboy uniform.
Nope.
That's going to be nice. But yeah, I think the whole world looks good. I'm interested. I'm excited for this one. I'm more excited for this one than I was even for Paldea, um, for Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah,
But
my after Scarlet and Violet, like I'm less interested in
I
the mainline games.
so I think a lot of the problem with Scarlet and Violet was that they released it so late in life of the Switch, and the Switch was an underpowered system for how much they wanted to do in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
Oh
Because
yeah.
Sword and Shield ran very well
Oh yeah, Sword and
on the
Shield ran
Switch.
well, and the difference there, like you said, like the Switch was always kind of underpowered,
Yeah,
and they went from Sword and Shield, where like you really just had the one big wild area, to Scarlet and Violet, where like the whole game was
the
open.
whole world. It was just the whole open world was open right away.
Yeah, more so even than Arceus, where like yes, you had very large open areas, but they were still
And they
like
were still
biomes you had to
instanced.
travel
Yeah,
to. And frankly, like I loved Arceus. I had a great time with it. Like it, it didn't look great. It didn't run the best on the Switch, but like it wasn't like this game is trash because it looks bad. It was just like, okay, yeah, this looks about as bad as the Pokemon games always do on the Switch.
yeah,
But like it's not so much the way it looked with Scarlet and Violet. Like I never even finished that one. Like but I got up to the point where like I can almost go do the Elite Four or whatever the equivalent is in the game, and I just completely lost interest in doing it.
yeah.
Because it was just like those three storylines. Just
They were. It was no. Like I fully 100% agree. Scarlet and Violet is probably the worst Pokemon game.
yeah,
To be 100% honest, Scarlet and Violet is probably the worst Pokemon game.
especially coming like a year after Legends Arceus, which did a whole bunch of unique things, gave like an
Yeah.
interesting story, an interesting region to re-explore, kind of. To then like all the cool stuff that Arceus didn't exist in Scarlet and Violet, which I give them a little bit of a pass on that because those games were obviously in production at the same time,
Yeah,
and they did not have enough time to rework huge game mechanics because people really like the stuff in Arceus.
yeah,
So like if Gen 10 doesn't have any of the kind of like quality of life stuff that the Legends games did, then it's very obvious that like they are just doing whatever is the easiest thing to pump these games out and make money off of.
yeah. But I mean, again, we'll have to wait and see because the game's not set for release until next year. Which
Yeah.
that is, and like we mentioned it earlier. But like for me, especially when it comes to a Nintendo announcement or a Pokemon announcement, generally they stay within 6 to 8 months. It's not often we see something that's over a year away.
But it's because it was like we were saying at the beginning, it was the 30th anniversary, and they have jack shit to announce for it.
Yeah, they had not much to show. Like,
I mean, like they spent time talking about the Legends ZA DLC that came out in December.
yeah, was that in December? I thought that was a new.
No, the DLC was in December. There's just a mystery gift that you can now get to unlock
Mega
the
Garchomp.
the new Mega Garchomp.
And you see, here's the thing, and this is where like I'm gonna get into that. People will complain kind of shit that drives me nuts. Is like I'm happy they're gonna do this mystery gift or whatever. I don't know how they're doing it. Are you just going to get it if you have the Mega Dimensions? I don't really know.
So you go in there and you get they explained it in the video. It's like you go in there and you get an item from the mystery gift that unlocks a battle with
the Mega Guard,
Mega Garchomp, and once you beat him, like with all of the rogue Mega evolutions in the game, you then get the was it Mega Garchomp X rock thing that you can then give to your Garchomp, so that when you have enough Mega energy, that is what he will Mega evolve into.
Yeah, which like it's cool that they're doing that, but when they first released ZA, they were all about the online ranked mode and stuff and the battle mode. Where's the support for that? Why aren't we getting that from there? Well, people complain so much because you have to have a Switch Online subscription to play it, so that now they're just going to give it to people who have the DLC. And I'm just like, all right, so what's the point of doing the online ranked mode then? What is my reward for doing that? Like,
yeah, and I only did it the one time just to get the what's the dude? Greninja Mega Evolution Stone thing.
Yeah.
And like, there's other rewards you get for like getting ranked up in that, and like, it's not terribly hard to get ranked up, even if you suck at the online. Like, you're still going to rank up fairly quickly.
Yeah.
At least within like the first like 10 rank levels. Beyond that, I don't know, because I will give them credit. They at least weren't being ridiculous with expectations on getting those things, at least at launch. Like, you didn't have to grind multiplayer for hours to get the stone to mega evolve certain things.
Yeah.
I went in there, I think I did it for maybe an hour, and I had the stones within 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it doesn't take long to do it. And you didn't have to. It was just participating, I think. It wasn't even getting to rank.
No, you had to get 2 ranks. But it was like, so the ranks are like Z to A, like the name of the game. So like, I think it was like T or V and U or something, or V and T were the ones that you had to get to. One of them got you the Greninja stone, and the other one got you another Pokemon stone.
Yeah.
But like, it's a combination of, you get rank points for just being in the battle, because inevitably you're doing some amount of damage in it. But it's 4-on-4, or not 4-on-4. It's 4-person battles.
It's 4-person free for all.
Yeah. And I think you do only get like 4 Pokemon with you. You don't get your whole team. And you're just, it's a free for all. So you're just attacking people as you go. So like, you're going to rank up just based on like doing damage and how many times you die versus everybody else. You get more points if you do like the killing blow on people, or if you last longer. And there is just like, during the match, there's just a little rank on the side that shows you like who's in first, second, third, and fourth of your 4 people. And it flips around as you're doing stuff, because inevitably, like, somebody will go on like a spree and they'll take out a bunch of people, and then people will gang up on them, take them out. And I did see something online the other day that apparently there's a little bit of shittiness, unsurprisingly, happening, where people from like English territories are getting matched up in Asian territories. And if it's, one English name versus like 4 like Asian character usernames, the other 3 will just team up and just keep destroying the English character name.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna happen in online games. There's going to be some toxicity and shittiness.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not excusing it, but
I saw something either on Facebook or Reddit, and it was one of those, like, somebody asked a question about it, and then more than just 1 or 2 people confirmed that it was happening to them too.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh, well, that sucks.
Yeah. But it's just like, I want to see more of this online support, and it doesn't feel like they're doing any more of the online support. And they made a big deal about it, and then everyone complained about it. So now, are we just not getting that online support anymore? Like, that's something they could have really pulled in and brought into ZA, is like, we're going to have seasonal leagues for the rank mode, and there's going to be both cosmetic rewards as well as maybe mega evolution rewards. And bring that into play. Bring that into the game. That would be on like a great like push to have more people play it, have more people do the online mode, and like maybe sell the game more. And that could have been a really good sell for the 30th anniversary. It's like, look, we're pushing more online. And they are with Pokemon Champions, which is a strictly PvP game, which is just a battler, which you connect to your Pokemon home, and then you connect your Pokemon into Champions. And that's all cool. But again, I think Champions might be... Champions launches on the Switch in April. It's already out on phones, I believe, or something like that. I don't know 100%. But you still have to pay for Pokemon Home to transfer your Pokemon into Home to then transfer it into Champions.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's still like, let me just battle with my Pokemon in the game that I have them and support that.
No, because that doesn't make them any more money. But if you pay for subscriptions, they make more money off the subscriptions.
Yeah.
But... yeah, and like, honestly, like, again, like, the online stuff for ZA, like, it does not have legs. Like, it is not fun enough to, like, want to really spend that amount of time in it.
But again, that's like, they pushed on it at the beginning of the launch of ZA, and they could take feedback from players and work on that feedback to make it better and enhance it and make it.
No, like just the way that it works. Like battle royale sounds kind of cool initially, but like it actually isn't that much fun in Pokemon.
I mean, to be honest, if it were a battle royale, it would be better because then it would be you defeat the trainer and they're gone, and then you just try to take down all the trainers.
Actually,
that
yeah,
would be a better way to play this. This isn't a battle royale. This is a 4v. This is a four player free for all with respawns.
Yeah,
like it is just chaotic, and I've watched somebody reached A rank in 2 hours when the game first launched. Like it's not hard to rank up, but it's definitely like maybe they could take. I feel like it does have legs. They just need to put work into it. And again, they don't want to put work into it because it's not going to make them much money. Because
and you figure like when it comes to like Pokemon stuff, like anyone that gets serious about it, it's the same 8 Pokemon in there. Like you're not really seeing any sort of like diversity in like it. You're gonna go in there. It's gonna be a whole lot of Charizards and like Garchomps and the legendaries.
Yeah, that's also been always just in general my problem with competitive Pokemon is if you're not using meta, you're not winning, and you always see the same like. And occasionally somebody can come out with like a meta breaking build, but it's still like it's generally like there's a lot of planning that takes place in Pokemon competitive because it's a turn-based RPG. It's still just it always boils down to the same 3 or 4 actions and moves. And that's like I wish you could like I wish you could train your Pikachu to level 100 and kick ass and be like Ash, but you can't because Pikachu sucks. Well, probably not, because they ride on the wiener of Pikachu so much that the trailer for Wave and Winds had 2 fucking Pikachus right at the beginning of it on vacation.
It's the mascot of the franchise.
They
always
retired.
Going to be.
They retired Pikachu with the new series.
No.
New series,
they retired Ash's Pikachu.
I know.
They literally introduced a new Pikachu.
Yeah, and Pikachu just drives me nuts.
It is the mascot of the series. Pikachu is never going away.
No, and it just drives me nuts. Like, you're showcasing your new game. Oh, here's 2 Pokemon that we've been seeing since Gen 1.
That's also, like, to be fair, that is also very much what they've always done. They never really show off new Pokemon with the announcement. It's always a trickle as it gets closer to launch.
Yeah, but like Pikachu may be the mascot of this series. You could maybe try to like push more of the 1,000 fucking Pokemon that you have out there.
No, because again, Pikachu being the mascot has the most like brand recognition. You see Pikachu and you immediately know who it is.
You see any Pokemon, you know it's a Pokemon though. Brand recognition. The idea
is not true.
Yeah, I'm gonna say there's like 3 Pokemon people know. A regular person knows as a Pokemon, and that's being.
I would say like the 151 are like I feel like more people would recognize the original 151 than anything else. But like you said, Rich, there's over 1,000 now. Like a lot of them don't look like shit that anyone's going to be like, oh, that's a Pokemon.
But that's like you're talking like every normies that don't know anything about nerds and shit, nerddom and shit. I'm talking people that know video games and nerddom. You show them a Pokemon, whether they know what Pokemon it is or not, they will still know it is a Pokemon.
Yeah, but keep in mind, these games are not for nerds. These games are for children, which means their parents have to recognize it.
The children are going to recognize it enough. And again, to be a bit nitpicky, when the parents are going to buy the game, it's going to say Pokemon across the screen or across the box.
Absolutely, but it's one of those like you use Pikachu in all of your marketing stuff because the people that don't pay attention to that shit are going to be like, "Oh, there's a new Pikachu coming."
Yeah, I don't know. Sure, but it's more
like,
of a just.
You have to figure Pikachu is cute. It's been around for 30 years. Everyone knows what a Pikachu is. Even people that don't understand what Pokemon are beyond that, it's a Pikachu.
Yeah, but this doesn't make me hate it any less. Still, like it's just with over 1,000 Pokemon, it is.
And 700 of them suck.
I mean, that's the problem. There's over 1,000 Pokemon, and alls we get are like generally in every game. I bet you there's probably at least 100 to 200 Pokemon that are in or available every game since Pokemon. Well, I can't say since the first Pokemon because there was only 151, but like by Gen 5 and beyond, there's probably about 100 to 200 Pokemon between Gen 1 and Gen 5 that are in every game.
Oh yeah, no, I mean like so actually there is I forget where I saw it. And I don't remember what Pokemon it was now off the top of my head. But there's only like 2 Pokemon that have actually been in every game at launch.
Pikachu and Meowth.
No, actually I think Magikarp.
Well, then that would also mean Gyarados.
True.
So according to Gemini, but I mean, it says based on available data, no single Pokemon is natively catchable in every single mainline game. I asked it how many Pokemon have been in every Pokemon game, so it didn't quite take my answer or my question due to regional Pokedex limitations. However, a few such as Magikarp, Gyarados, Psyduck, and Magnemite are considered ever-present, appearing in almost every game or through DLC.
So,
but that
so I
doesn't
found it. I found it on Bulbapedia. Magikarp and Gyarados are the only Pokemon that are available natively in every core series game. So there's a bunch of
Pikachu not in it.
Yeah, so actually I think it was like Black and White Pikachu isn't in natively. Like it's in Black and White too, but not in Black and White. So I want to say Black and White was the first Pokemon game that actually the base game tried to do all new Pokemon. I think it was that generation.
Hold on, because I'm at that Bulbapedia article. For the first 7 generations, all Pokemon introduced in Gen 1 would have qualified for this list, as every core series game featured Pokemon have been introduced up to that point. However, starting with Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, not every previously introduced Pokemon is available in each core series game, with only a limited selection being obtainable, including via transfer. I think in Let's Go Eevee, you can't get a Pikachu, and in Let's Go Pikachu, you can't get an Eevee. So that's why Pikachu, Eevee, and Raichu and Eeveelutions are not in every game.
But no. So if you read the end of it, under the trivia, it says Magikarp and Gyarados are the only Pokemon that are natively available, meaning that in all these other games you can trade or transfer. There's events to get everyone else, but you can only catch Magikarp, and like by definition, because odds are there's not a Gyarados to catch in every game. But you can natively get a Magikarp, which natively becomes Gyarados. So yeah, most of them do appear in all the core games, but Magikarp is the only one that is natively catchable in every game.
Pokemon Legends Arceus is the only core series game that does not involve Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, Jigglypuff, Meowth, Slowpoke, and Dragonair and all their evolutions, and a Mewtwo. And then ZA is the only core game not to feature Vulpix, Psyduck, Growlithe, Tentacool, Magnemite, Rhyhorn, Chansey, Electabuzz, Magmar, and Snorlax, and evolutions that are equivalent to this. That's also in the trivia down below.
I am almost positive Tentacool was in ZA. That's weird.
Was it Tentacool or was it the Paldean brown Tentacool, which is a different Pokemon? It's not a Paldean version.
So it wasn't the Paldea version, because they didn't. That game was a little, because that game is Kalos, however you say it. So it didn't really do some of the regional variations like that yet. They had things like there was somebody that would trade you a standard Slowbro for a Galarian Slowbro or something like that. So yeah, but Magikarp. Everyone can always get a Magikarp. That's probably a show, though.
Yeah, that's a show. That's a lot of Pokemon.
It is a lot of Pokemon, and in a year and a half, we will have more Pokemon.
Yeah. Well, I'd probably say probably closer to 2 years. To be honest, it's more than it'll probably be holiday next year, so over a year and a half, a year and 9 months.
Okay, yeah, you know what? It feels like it's later in the year than it actually is. So
It's
yeah,
only March. It's been the longest 3 years ever.
yeah. The Pokemon games usually
Yep.
come out October, November. So yeah,
Yeah.
7 to 8 months.
Yep.
But yeah, with that said, if you would like to find more of our content, you can head over to www.one-quest.com. You can also help us out by supporting us at patreon.com/onequest. Did I say that already?
No.
I felt like I just repeated myself. That was weird. Anyway,
I actually don't listen to you when you do this part. I kind of zone you out. So
Man.
who knows?
What a jerk. Anyway, if you can't support us there with your dollars, you can go to your favorite podcast platform, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, rate us, review us, subscribe to us. All of those things help. You can find us on social media, facebook.com/onequestonline or @1_quest on Instagram and Twitter. And our Blue Sky is @one-quest.com. You can find our YouTube channel at youtube.com/onequestvideo, and you can always send us an email to social@one-quest.com. And then, Rich, what does your streaming look like?
Twitch.tv/b_walnuts. We're video game streaming Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. We'll be playing a lot of Resident Evil 9 for a while, but I also plan on maybe jumping into games like Life of Pi or maybe Marvel Cosmic Invasion and just jumping around and stuff. Playing just a bunch of different games that we have on the list. We did unlock me playing Species Unknown, which is this early access roguelite. Is a rogue? I guess you could call it a roguelite co-op PvE extraction shooter, which would be pretty cool to play. So I'm trying to find people to play that, and we're going to play that and check that out, as well as just a bunch of other games. So come on over and hang out and stuff. Yeah.
Nice. Well, with all that said, we'll be back next week with something else to talk about. Thanks for listening. Bye.
See yous.
Bye.